And Trung, can you hear me, Trung?
Yes, I can hear you, teacher.
Hi, Trung. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, teacher.
Brilliant. Where do you live and what do you do?
Now I live in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Now, and I work in the logistics.
Logistics.
Yes.
Logistics. Yeah, that's not an easy word to say, is it? Logistics. Yeah. Okay. Nice to meet you. And then Chelsea. I've just spoken to Chelsea. Yeah. You're the same Chelsea, or a different Chelsea?
Yeah, I'm the same Chelsea.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hi, Chelsea. Welcome back.
Yeah, that's true.
James is
Yeah.
back as well. I have to make you guys Facebook friends. And then we can do some...
Yeah,
Okay.
and it takes about 30 minutes for us. And back, yeah.
All right. Okay. So welcome everyone. So to me and Trung, my name is Ade, and I'm from England, but I live in Spain. So I'm going to be your tutor today, and today we're talking about cross-cultural training, because it depends. Things are different in different countries, different ways of behaving. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to play you a video, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions. And then after that, I'd like to hear about feedback, maybe feedback that you've given or feedback that you've received. So before we start, if I start with you, Chelsea, when was the last time you had to give feedback to someone?
Well, I work in a company and we have the quarterly review. We have to one-on-one to talk with my manager. So that 1 month ago, I just feedback my idea and my opinion to my manager.
Right. Okay. And how was your manager? Did he say? Was he smiling and shaking his head, or was he doing this? What was he doing?
We had a long time the communication. It's about 2 hours. Yeah, because we can't say anything we like to say, and
Yeah.
he asked me to provide some opinions. For example, for the job, what kind of job or what kind of process the company has to improve.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. Oh, thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
How about you, James? When was the last time you either gave feedback? Who was it to?
Yeah, we often get when there is a meeting or group meeting and we do some presentation. That we get the feedback from the teammate, and we have suggestion. Is there anything there improvement, or what is their suggestion, opinion, and the real feedback we want to get feedback. Based on that, we next time when we do that, we try to improve that. So we often leave it once in a month or like that.
Right. Okay. Thank you, James. Me, how about you?
Actually, I'm working on it to do the peer review for the KPI. So basically, we do kind of the 360-degree to review somebody else in the office to give the kind of the constructive feedback of their performance or like basically just the behaviors. We cannot because we are not the direct manager of someone else, so we cannot give the assessment or evaluate their like the task or the working in the task. So we just basically give the constructive feedback on the behaviors in common. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Mee. Trung, how about you?
Yes. In my business, when I contact with some shipping line and they have to send email and some new thing, and I asking them the new problem, and I have to waiting the feedback from them for show problem. Yes, I think it's happened with me every day. but by rude emails. Yes.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Trum. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen now, and then I'm going to play you a video of a woman who has worked in other countries, and she talks about the differences in the way people give feedback in other countries. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. Chelsea, James, me, and Trum, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Just a minute.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to play the video now.
There are different interpretations of professionalism, which I wanted you to get into because everyone believes they're acting in the most professional manner possible, but the way that we interpret it has huge ramifications on what gets done next. Exactly. So, for example, take something very simple like you need to provide negative feedback to someone on your team. The most professional way to provide that feedback is really different from one country to another. And I know in the U.S. we kind of pride ourselves on being really blunt, and it's true in comparison to Asian countries or Latin American countries, we tend to be more direct. I've lived in France for 15 years, and thank you.
What's the difference there?
I can tell you that in France, people are a lot more implicit with positive feedback, and they give negative feedback much more directly than we do here.
So jumping up will be comfortable there is what you're saying, Brendan.
And in the UK, when you get feedback from your boss, I had this experience, they never give you negative feedback. They give you positive feedback, and you sort of have to read when it's slightly less positive. That's really negative.
Well, that's right. I think what's interesting here is that culture is relative. So the way that you experience the British is the way that the French will experience the Americans.
Okay. That was quite fast, so I'm just going to play it again, and then I'm going to ask you some comprehension questions. Okay.
There are different interpretations of professionalism, which I wanted you to get into because everyone believes they're acting in the most professional manner possible, but the way that we interpret it has huge ramifications on what gets done next. Exactly. So, for example, take something very simple like you need to provide negative feedback to someone on your team. The most professional way to provide that feedback is really different from one country to another. And I know in the U.S. we kind of pride ourselves on being really blunt, and it's true in comparison to Asian countries or Latin American countries, we tend to be more direct. I've lived in France for 15 years, and thank you.
What's the difference there?
I can tell you that in France, people are a lot more implicit with positive feedback, and they give negative feedback much more directly than we do here.
So jumping up will be comfortable there is what you're saying, Brendan.
And in the UK, when you get feedback from your boss, I had this experience, they never give you negative feedback. They give you positive feedback, and you sort of have to read when it's slightly less positive. That's really negative.
Well, that's right, but I think what's interesting here is that culture is relative. So the way that you experience the British is the way that the French will experience the Americans.
Okay. Well, I hope you could follow that because I know it was quite fast.
Yes.
If I start with you, Chelsea, what does this woman, her name is Erin Mayer, what does Erin Mayer say about providing negative feedback? What does she say about providing negative feedback?
She mentioned American, provide negative feedback is more direct than Asia.
That the Americans were quite blunt. I'll just play that beginning bit again. Let's just play it up to here.
Which I wanted you to get into because everyone believes they're acting in the most professional manner possible, but the way that we interpret it has huge ramifications on what gets done next. Exactly. So, for example, take something very like you need to provide negative feedback to someone on your team. The most professional way to provide that feedback is really different from one country to another. And I know in the U.S. we kind of pride ourselves on being really blunt, and it's true in comparison to Asian countries or Latin American countries, we tend to be more direct.
Okay, well done. James, what does she say about feedback in Asian and Latin American countries?
She was explaining about it is not that easy as US giving negative feedback to the Asian countries.
Okay.
You cannot do that. People are not preferred to hear the negative feedback.
Yeah, that they were more. She said they're very direct.
Very direct.
Yeah, very direct. And do you know what that means? If someone is very direct with their feedback, could you give me an example of very direct feedback? If I'm doing a job and I'm not doing it well, what would be direct feedback?
Call them one-to-one, directly tell them.
Yes.
But this has gone wrong, this has not done right. Direct interface you can tell.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, James. Me, how are the French different in the way they provide negative feedback? How are the French different?
The French people, they tendency to give more positive feedback rather than negative ones.
Okay, brilliant, thank you. And Trung,
Yes.
How do they give feedback in the UK?
In the UK, when you get a feedback from your boss, and they never give you a negative feedback.
Yeah.
They give you the positive feedback.
Positive feedback. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to unshare my screen now, and I'd like to know a little bit about you. So, Chelsea, what do you think is important about positive feedback and negative feedback?
I think for both positive and negative feedback, you have to for example, if I'm a manager and one-on-one meeting with my team member, I have to let them know directly, because if I don't let them know the positive and negative, then I have to point out the negative point so they can improve their skill. So for the positive, we have to encourage them, so they will have more power to do the work well.
Yeah, thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
James, how about you, James?
What I feel positive feedback is only for encouragement, and the negative feedback for the improvement. They can improve.
Okay.
By learning the mistake, they can improve.
Okay. And me, how about you?
I think if we say a negative feedback, it's easy to break the relationship between co-workers. And instead of saying you're doing wrong, so we could say next time we could do like something better. So the listener can can have the chance to improve in the future. So it's always important for the workplace to give them the positive feedback.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And Trung, how about you, Trung?
Teacher, can you repeat your question?
The question: what's positive and negative feedback? What do you think about positive feedback and negative feedback?
Yes, I think negative feedback and positive feedback, all of them have a good thing and bad thing. With the negative feedback, and it's some people they don't like it when we negative feedback. But when it's wrong, and I say with them negative feedback directly, and if they recognize they are wrong and they have to improve in the next time, is it better? Yes. And for the best way is the negative feedback a lot of people don't like it, and they feel bored, and they disappear, and they don't want to receive them. Yes, I think all the people don't like negative feedback. I think I know in Vietnam, everybody like to positive feedback, then they don't like the negative feedback. Yes, and positive feedback is also if you do something good, right, and we have to more positive feedback, and everybody will more strong. Yes, and yes, I think that's.
Brilliant. Thank you, Trump. And Chelsea, have you received negative feedback before? And what was it like? How did you feel? When was it?
Yeah, that year I got a negative feedback from my manager. At the beginning, I felt a little bit disappointed. But after that, he told me why he told me a negative feedback because he wants me to improve this kind of skill. So if he didn't tell me, I won't improve that. So that because he did it and I got a promotion this year because I improved this kind of skill. I really appreciate.
Appreciated.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Okay, good. It's negative feedback. Okay, right. Thank you, Chelsea. And how about you, James? Have you received negative feedback before, and how did it make you feel?
Yeah, a couple of times I also got negative feedback. Initially, first time I get there, it was a little bit hard for me to listen negative feedback.
Yeah.
Then later on, I realized that what mistake I did, what was the area I need to improve. So when I corrected it, so next time when feedback came, I was expecting some feedback, negative feedback, so that I can correct it in the future. So I took it in a positive way. So absolutely, it is a challenge and learn more things. So absolutely, it's not a problem. Twice I faced this problem. Now it's after that I didn't face any problem.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, thank you. And me, how about you?
Yes, for a couple of times, I also received negative feedback, and I feel hurt.
Yeah.
For example, when I organize the community trip or pick a restaurant, like to book a restaurant for the whole team at the party. So, but because nothing totally wrong or right, unless we do in formula or mathematics, but like somebody say the trip is not funny at all due to their opinion, or they feel bored or something has affect to their opinion, so they give the negative feedback. So I feel like they ruin all my efforts. So I feel hard because if my efforts not satisfy you, but it suits somebody else. So sometimes for the corporate service, we have to satisfy a lot of people. So sometimes also receive some negative feedback from them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. And Chelsea, when you receive feedback, if it is, do you think if you're going to give someone positive and negative feedback, should you give the positive? Sorry.
You didn't add the Trump.
Oh, Trump.
Yes, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Yes.
Sorry, Trump. Sorry, I'm sorry. Continue, please.
Okay. In my life, I think I receive a lot of negative feedback, and anytime when I receive a negative feedback, I think it again carefully and check if it's wrong or right. And if it's right, and I accept it, and I try to I receive, and I make the mistake or feedback from my lesson in my life. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for telling me. Sorry about that, Trump.
No, doesn't matter. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start with you now, Trump. Do you think it's better to receive if say I have to give you positive and negative feedback, is it better to start with the negative feedback and then the positive feedback, or is it better to start with the positive feedback and then the negative feedback? Which do you think is better to be first?
Yes, I think this question is like it between how the chicken first or the egg first. Yes, I think it depends on the problem. Uh, in my life, I don't thinking about which one is first. If teacher asking me, I think I think negative is first is better, and after that you have the positive if he best, because it's a positive and people feel happy more. And at first when we make them unhappy, and after that they happy again, and they still keep the happy until the end. Yes, I think it's better.
Okay, because some people say I have good news and bad news. Do you want the good news first, or do you want the bad news first? So,
Yes, and I think bad news first, and the good news after. Yes, because I want to keep the best, the good thing remain. Yes, maintain. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Chelsea, how about you? Do you think good feedback or bad feedback first? Which would
I think I have the same opinion with the John. I prefer to listen the negative feedback first, then positive feedback, because we can after I listen to the positive feedback, I will forget the negative feedback, and when I keep the happy,
right?
yeah, so that's my opinion.
Okay. What about you, James? What do you think?
I also agree with Chelsea this, because first you listen the negative feedback, then otherwise if you start listening the positive feedback, then always you're thinking something bad you are going to listen. So you are now inner conscious will be thinking on that. So it is
If I have a chance, I try to avoid saying negative feedback. I don't want to say negative feedback. Or that's, I try to tell my members to stop saying negative feedback, and try to we have a different ways to lift people up, and how people don't do in that way. Like we don't want them to continue do in this way. So that we have a different thought to say that we don't need to say negative feedback. But for good news and bad news, I would say I need to say bad news first. But for the negative feedback, I try not to say them as many as I can.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting, because I think sometimes if someone says something, it's sometimes the first thing you remember. So I remember with teaching, they said it's like you know what a sandwich is.
Yeah.
So you have good, bad, and then good. Because people sometimes they remember the first thing you say. You know, that was really bad, but rather than it was really good what you did. You could have improved here. But, you know, so sometimes people remember the first thing you say to them, and it stays there. So sometimes.
So I just say positive feedback and then but.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So thinking about feedback, is there if say, what would you say to someone? What would be if someone had done something wrong? What would be a way of being able to say to give bad feedback or negative feedback in a positive way? And if I ask, start with you, Trum, can you think of a way that you would be able to give negative feedback in a positive way? It's a difficult question.
Sorry, I don't understand.
How could you give negative feedback in a positive way? Can you imagine you have to tell someone that they need to leave the company? that they're sacked, they're fired. Is there any way of being able to do that in a positive way? Can you think of anything?
Oh yes, say the negative thing in a positive ways.
Yeah.
Yes, I think yes, it's hard because when they have the bad news, and I think it's better when we give them feedback in the positive. If they have received the bad news and you give them the negative feedback, I think it's more pain. Yes. Yes, and I think I try to talk and not talk direct to the bad news, and try to talk in other subject, and for that forget the man of the bad news. Yes.
Okay. Chelsea, how about you? Have you ever had to fire anyone before, or say, look, you've got to go, or?
That is a difficult question.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll try to say something to the people. If a people just mess up a thing, I'll tell him or her, if you follow a rule and go this way, it will be better. I will explain that indirectly and not trying to hurt them.
Yeah.
I don't know how to change to a positive way. It's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chelsea. How about you, James? Have you ever had to tell anyone they had to leave? Give them some very negative feedback? It was difficult.
Yeah, it is a very hard step to convince somebody that it is to communicate a negative feedback. So what we can do is that just give a background of the story, that this was what happened, make the person comfortable that we are going to tell this is what happened. Then he will also he can make up his mind.
Yeah.
That yes, there is something in that way, it is not going in a good way. Then you can communicate them, so that it will not be a surprise immediately. That way you can do better. That's so positively it is nothing in our hand, but it's in his hand. This has to be done. So that way you can communicate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So having a story rather than straight away, you're fired. No, it's still Brilliant. Thank you, James. How about you, Lee?
And for me, telling the truth is only appreciated. So the first I would give him the fact and the whole picture, the real situation for him to understand, and then I will give him my empathy, and I will pass the responsibility to the third party, for example, and I'm only the person who gives the message, and the decision is from the higher management. And yes, and I also give him my empathy, and talking about the future, the opportunities still out there, and you can, if you are still good employees, and you have a better opportunity somehow, and then ask them to still keep the contact and the good relationship.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you. Well, we've run out of time, and that's been really interesting.
Yeah.
And how you receive feedback as well. So that's been very informative for me, and I hope the feedback I'm giving you is positive. So thank you, Kelsey, James, me, and Thum for sharing, and thank you very much. And I enjoyed talking to you about feedback and your opinions about feedback. So to all of you, have a wonderful day, and thank you. So Chelsea, James, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, teacher. Yes.
Thank you.
I think the end of the lesson we will give the positive feedback to you like yesterday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Enjoy the rest of the day. Okay.
Thank you, same to you. Bye.
Right.
Yes,
Bye.
bye, teacher and everyone.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye.